Hey, good morning, everybody. Roman here, coming to you live. And welcome to this week's edition of the Financial Aid Wednesdays. And this is a time when we take some financial aid topic apart to help you get more money to pay for college so that you don't have to finance your kids' education with expensive loans. And this particular live cast is for those families whose kids are getting into college right now. And more importantly, if you're getting a bigger bill then you can comfortably pay out of your own pocket. Because unfortunately, when that happens and you get their financial aid award letter, if it doesn't have enough money in it and you have to come out of pocket with more, well, you'll always have one of three options. Well, technically, one of two. One is you can just figure out how to come up with the money. And second option is that you can finance it with loans. The third option is the option that I want to teach you right now, here, today, which is how to get more money. And you can do that you can always call us and we can personally help you, but you can also try to do this yourself. And this is the purpose of these Financial Aid Wednesdays. So here's what's going to happen when your student gets into college, they're going to get their acceptance letter. And that's a big yay moment, right? You're excited, they're excited, everybody's relieved. And of course, you as a parent are going to be very, very proud of your student who's worked hard to get into college. Well, within about 2 weeks, the same colleges that have accepted your kids are going to send their financial aid award letter. For most families, this will be a boo moment. Highly technical term, of course. But the reason I say boo is because most financial aid offers are not going to give you enough money. And this can happen for a couple of different reasons, but most commonly, colleges intentionally don't give you all the money that they could or even should because they're always holding some money back in case they need it down the road. So, knowing that a lot of families who get their financial aid awards will just be so excited with the fact that they got accepted and the fact that they got any money, they'll just sign on the dotted line and that's it. Effectively, colleges are kind of tricking people into paying more than they should. So, for those of you who might have done this before, or if you haven't, but you've been following me online, then I always tell you to negotiate for more money if you need more money. Like, obviously, don't waste anybody's time or money if you don't need the money. But if you do need it, well, you can get more because the first award that colleges give you are usually not the best awards and they're not final. So, on this live cast, what I want to show you are the three things that you really must do before you accept any offer. Because, like that saying goes, it's set in stone. Well, the soon as you sign the financial aid award, or as soon as you accept a college's offer of admission, well, that is now effectively going to be set in stone. And even if you realize later that the college could have given you more money or that they should have given you more money, it's going to be really, really hard to get any more money out of them because, well, you've already signed on a dotted line. You've already told them, hey, we're coming. And so, as of right now, let's see, it is February the 23rd. We just have a couple of months left before May 1st, which is the National College Decision Day. So that's when your student is going to be expected to pick one college and commit. That's when you're going to have to write the check. So right now is the time for you to do these three things if you want to get more money to pay for college. So remember, everybody who's getting into school now, if you're getting a bill that's bigger than what you can pay comfortably out of your pocket, and you're potentially going to be thinking like, how do I make up that difference, or how do I finance that difference with loans? Well, before you do any of that and before you accept their offer, do these three things that I'm going to teach you right now. So get your pen and paper out. So the first thing that I always tell people to do is check your financial aid forms. Now, if you had done everything on time, you would have filled out the FAFSA sometime in the fall, or at least last year, closer to the winter time. Some colleges will also require that you complete another financial aid form called the Css Profile. Both of those forms collected the financial data about your family that you later filed, and colleges are using those numbers to put together your financial aid award packet. And you want to make sure that they're looking at the right figures. Now, you might be thinking, why would I do this now? It's in the past, it's done. I did everything correctly. I'm sure of it. Why check my financial aid forms? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I see this every single year, starting now. And for the next 2 months, I'm going to get a lot of very frantic and panicked calls and emails from parents and families just like yours saying, holy beep, I didn't get enough money, or our financial aid offer wasn't enough, or we didn't get any money. We got zero. Like, what is going on? And almost always, we go back to the financial aid forms and we find something that wasn't done correctly or it was missed. And you don't want to discover this when you are so close to that May 1st deadline, because by then, colleges won't have as much money to give you. So you want to check your financial aid forms right now. And it's very easy to do. So if you filled out the FAFSA, then what you want to do is go back onto the FAFSA website and download what's called the Student Aid Report. I'm going to show you what it looks like so you have it. So check this out. When you download the Student Aid Report, right there with the red arrow, it's going to show what your expected family contribution is. Now, that set of numbers is a dollar amount that was sent to every college that you and your student applied to. Well, to be technically correct, your student applied to. And that's the amount of money that they're going to expect you to pay at minimum. At minimum. Most colleges, or I shouldn't say most, but a lot, will expect you to pay more. But in this example, that's $18,000 or $18,415 to be exact, that the colleges are going to expect you to pay. So you kind of want to get a sense if that number is in the ballpark. If it is, good, but you still want to double check that all of the information you put on the form is accurate. So you just scroll down, and what you'll see below are all of the FAFSA questions that you answered, as well as your student answered, and all of your answers. Now, obviously, I've graded them out to protect the innocent, but your information would be visible to you, right? And you want to go through all of the data to make sure that nothing was missed, nothing was grayed out. If there was a zero, that something didn't apply, you want to put a zero. Don't leave things blank, because it might affect this number, which is the amount that you're going to be expected to pay. So again, why is this important? Well, I'll tell you, because not everybody, but a lot of people call me around this time and they're saying something isn't right. We're not getting enough money, or we're not getting any money. And I won't tell you much detail about this one call I got, but this one set the bar or set a record in the 10 years that I've been counseling families on how to do this. I got a call from somebody just last week who said they've already gotten their acceptance letter, the financial aid award letter, and it said they think that this family can pay $1.1 million per year for college. I've never seen a number that big. I mean, I've seen, upwards of 100,000, but never 1 million. And so I said, something's got to be wrong. Send me your financial aid forms, which they did. And you know what it was? Never seen this. They accidentally put an extra zero next to the value of their home. So it made colleges think that they had a house that was worth over $20 million, and it had $20 million in equity. All of a sudden, the colleges say, well, sheesh, doesn't matter how much this family earns or what they have in savings. With a $20 million house, they think they can pay up to $1 million a year. That's incredible. Now, that's an extreme case. I've never seen anything like this in 10 years that I've been doing this. But I've seen a lot of families that get an expected family contribution that's 100,000 or 80,000 or 60,000, where it should be 15 or 20. So the first thing you want to do is check your financial aid forms, and you do that by downloading the Student Aid Report if you filled out the FAFSA. If you did the Css Profile, then just go back to the College Board website and download the full Css Profile and check that all of your answers line up, that you didn't accidentally put an extra digit somewhere. Now, the other reason that this might happen is because some of the information has changed. You might have put all of the right information on the financial aid forms, but maybe things have changed. right? The income is different. Assets are different. So let colleges know. All right. Step number two, check that you have a competitive offer, not just assume that they're giving you the right financial aid. So let me show you what to do or how to do that. Give me a quick second. I'm going to pull up a browser window. All right, here we go. You should be able to see my screen. Go to college data. Oh, excuse me. Go to collegedata.com. It's a really, really good website. I've already talked about it many, many times. And what I'll do is I'll put in, let's say, University of San Francisco, where I went to school. I've used it in an example before. So you go to the third tab called Financials. And then what you want to look for is the total cost of attendance. Make sure that that matches up with what the financial aid offer is giving you. And then scroll down to look at the last year's financial aid profile. And there are two places that you want to pay attention to. The first is the amount of actual need financial aid that this college gives you. And this tells you that the college will meet up to 71% of the demonstrated need. So let's say you're expecting $10,000 of financial assistance. Well, this will tell you that you'll only get about 71% of that 10,000. So 7,100. So you want to ballpark by looking at the financial aid form if you are in fact being given the right amount. And if it's less than 71% that you should get, well, that tells you that they're not giving you all the money. They're holding something back. I'll tell you what to do about that in step number 3. The second thing you want to look for is right here below. That tells you that almost all of the financial aid that is being given by this college, again, in prior years, is free money. So, of the $40,000 average award, about 99% of it comes in the form of free money, things like grants and scholarships. And a little bit it comes from loans and work study. So when you look at your financial aid packet, you should see the same thing. You should see about 90+% of the financial aid award in free money, grants, scholarships, tuition discounts, and only a small portion on the loans. So if you see the opposite, you're being given a lot of loans and very little free money, well, that tells you they're not giving you a very competitive offer. So again, I'll tell you in step number 3 what to do about that. Now, the next thing you want to pay attention to is right here, merit gift aid. Merit aid has nothing to do with your finances. It has to do with how much the college wants your student to attend, and they're giving them extra money as a, congratulations for either reaching some academic accomplishment, athletic, musical, or maybe just because they're a perfect profile student that this college really wants. And so they're giving you extra money. And this tells you that 25% of freshmen last year that had no financial need received an average of $21,000 of scholarships. That's really, really cool. So look at your financial aid form, or sorry, not the form. Look at your financial aid award. If you got $21,000 or more, then you know that college is giving you a really good and competitive offer. If they're giving you less than the average, well, not as competitive. So you've got 3 really important points of reference here to compare what this college usually does to what they're giving you. Are they giving you all of the need based financial aid as a percentage that you are eligible for, that you qualify for? That's your first point of checking if the offer is competitive. Then you move on to the second. You'll look at the allocation between free financial aid and self help financial aid, things like loans, and make sure they're giving you as much free money as possible and certainly in line with what they did in the past. And then the third point of reference is if the college gives merit scholarships, that you're actually getting the average amount or more than the average amount. And if you put check boxes to all 3 of these, you know that the college is giving you a really good offer. But if you're not, Well, that tells you they're holding some money back. In which case, you go to step number 3, which is you file a financial aid appeal. So I say this to everybody, even if you got a really competitive financial aid award, but you still need money to pay for college, file a financial aid appeal. It doesn't hurt, it can only help you. The worst that can happen is you get no more money than you've already been given. They're not going to take anything away. You can only get more. So, if your financial aid offer was not competitive, which are the things that I mentioned in step number 2 below or above, then you certainly appeal based upon the fact that they're either missing some information. So, that would be in your financial aid forms. Maybe you overreported some amount of savings or some amount of your investments, or maybe you overreported the value of a business, which you shouldn't do. There are a lot of different things, right, that can increase the expected family contribution without you realizing. So, reviewing financial aid forms is important, but maybe they're just not giving you enough money because they want you to pay more. They're trying to fill their seats with higher paying students. That's all it is. But if your child already got an acceptance, it's not like they can yank that. So, just go and ask for more money. It doesn't matter if the college hopes that you'll pay more. You shouldn't have to unless, you really don't have any other option. So be a smart buyer, be a skeptical buyer, and be a hard buyer. Drive a bargain. Don't just accept just because you got the acceptance letter. Go back and try for more. Now, the question I get next is, well, how do we file a financial aid appeal? So this is a little bit of an art and a little bit of science. The science part is easy. You pull up the college's financial aid website, and then you just search for financial aid appeal. Hey, I just had a conversation yesterday with somebody whose daughter got into Clemson. So let me show you what that would look like. Let me share my screen. Give me just a quick second here. All right. So you should now see my screen. Here's Clemson. So you can look through the website. There's financial aid here somewhere. I was there yesterday, but you can also just click search and say financial aid appeal. Oh, if I could spell right, that might give us better results. Yep, there we go. And this tells you that students have the right to appeal or request a review for various financial aid components. Below, there's some information, and here's the answer. So, for general appeals, which is what you're most likely going to use, or need based appeal. So, if you are eligible for need based financial aid, then they'll tell you here's a need based form that they want you to submit. And this is if you have extenuating circumstances or a significant change in financial status since you filed your FAFSA. Then just submit the form. And it tells you if a comprehensive review is warranted, you will be requested to provide additional supporting documents. So that's cool. Nothing tricky about that. But if you're filing a general appeal, this tells you that, it says if you feel like you just got an unsatisfactory response to a financial aid request, you can request an appeal. Along with a need based appeal form, you can submit a letter to the Financial Aid Appeal Committee stating your situation and request the change. So there you go. This college tells you fill out a form, send us a letter. It's simple. Some colleges will tell you don't send us a form, send us a letter, send us an email. They'll give you an email address even. So follow their lead. Again, it doesn't have to be complex, but you got to do these 3 things before, and I highlight before you accept their offer. Because once you accept their offer, you're kind of on the hook. I mean, you can still say, look, we're out. We withdraw the application. We're not going to go. And they're not going to come after you if you do it before the enrollment or before the school year starts. But where's your student going to go? And so right now, you've got 2 months or so to do this correctly with every single college that's sending your student an acceptance letter, which is awesome. And I hope they get all of them. But Don't just get so overjoyed and excited that you forget to do these three things if you need money to pay for college. Because if you miss that, like so many families around the US, you'll either have to dig deeper into your finances and take money out of places that you shouldn't in order to pay for college, or you'll have to take loans. And you shouldn't do either one of those two things until you've exhausted the third option, which is getting the colleges to give you more money. And I just went over the three things that you must do before accepting the offer. Now, if you don't want to do this yourself, or if you feel like this is all just a bunch of overwhelming information that makes you feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose, that's okay. This can get a bit intimidating and it is a little nuanced and complex. You can call me and we can help you personally, one on one, go through and figure out whether you filled out all the forms correctly. And if you might have missed anything, we can help you put together the negotiation letter. We can help you fill out the appeal form and guide you along the way to make sure that you get every single dollar that you can out of your top choice schools. If you want that, just put consult in the chat below and we'll reach out. Or you can just go on our website and request a call. Go to pillar6college.com. If somebody could please put that into the chat, I'd really appreciate that. It's pillar6college.com. And there are a number of ways that you can request a call with us. And we always give you a free complimentary 15-minute consult to any family. So, again, if you want that, drop it in the comments below. Just put free consult, and a team member of mine or I will reach out to give you a calendar link and you can schedule that complimentary call. But if you're kind of running tight on the deadlines, then you know you need help, then just book one of the calls. We've got them right there and then. It's probably going to be the best hour that you can invest in, and you'll get a lot of value out of it. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll continue monitoring the comments that come through and we'll get back to you. If this is helpful, hit the like button so I know that this is actually helping you and that you're enjoying these conversations. Share it with a friend, somebody that has a student that's maybe earlier on in high school that hasn't yet gotten to this deadlines. You, all of this stuff is going to help them make better decisions. So I wish you well. I'll talk to you all next week. If you've got questions or if there's specific topic you want me to talk about, drop it in the comments below, and I'll talk to you all next week. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Bye.